Hey guys, it's Marshall from Limited Resources, and we're drafting M13. It has arrived here on Magic Online, and we're doing a draft. So let's just look at our pack. First off, the gram adjustment. We have a stuffy doll. Kind of cool. You choose a player. It's indestructible. Whenever it deals damage, it hurts them that much, so it's just kind of hard to get through, and it can ping itself, which is kind of cool. There's also a Searing Spear, just super solid. I mean, not much you can really say about, Lightning Bolt that costs one more. There's also Cower in Fear, which is, I'd say, less solid, but man, that card can be a blowout. Rummaging Goblin, which is, kind of the looter of the set, and it's a card I love to play. And there's also a Crimson Muckwader. Efficient. I kind of like the Searing Spear or the Cower in Fear here. I'd prefer to be in black, but I think I'm going to take the Searing Spear because I think it's just better. I mean, the upside on Searing Spear is kind of high, but the upside on is just ridiculous. All right, well, we've got some more good cards in this pack, but again, the best card is the Searing Spear, and we're just going to take it. Looks like somebody took a regular foil. We have a Fervor here, which I know it looks cool, but the card's actually just basically unplayable. I think it doesn't do enough. Having haste is sweet, but that thing doesn't attack or block. It doesn't get haste. You're using a lot of resources. So what are we hoping out of this pack? If we can wheel the Torch Fiend, Fire Elemental, if we wheel this, I'd be really happy. That card's sweet, but we're just going to take a second Spear. Spears, I mean, it's one of the better removal spells here. You saw a Switcheroo in that last pack. Don't confuse that with Mind Control. It's not. It's very good. It can do some things, but it can also just be really crappy. And it doesn't just go in every deck, I don't think, either. I think that I can definitely imagine some decks where I wouldn't play it. But, if you're running stuff like Mana Elves or, Elvish Visionary or, just small things that you don't mind trading off, then it's much better. But, I ran it in a couple of decks where I really just kind of liked all my creatures. And I was like, why am I doing this? All right. So we get a pick 3 Murder here, which is really sweet. And it is going to be our pick here. We could use some creatures. We don't have any yet. But I'm pretty happy just taking premium removal at this point, and then we'll fill in the creatures later. Because, frankly, this is the stuff that's really hard to get. And if we're successful at getting, really good removal, then our creatures are less important. We can just run like Canyon Minotaurs and just beat them down. Black has some great creatures. I'm pretty impressed by Black. I really like the Duty Bound Dead. He's the O2 Exalted for Black, and he has 3 and a black to regenerate. And I think that card's awesome. Really fun to play and kind of interesting, and it does eventually, kind of wear out its welcome. But okay, not a whole lot going on here. Goblin Battle Jester, I don't think we're going to have that type of deck. We're going to be looking to go a little bit longer here. With that being said, Krenko's Command, it can do some things. I really would much rather have a little bit of abuse with it. Crippling Blight will kill something. It usually just kills something that you care about to a point, but obviously it doesn't take care of bombs. I'd be pretty happy to have a Spiked Baloth here. And, because we can always splash these 2 spears if we do go into green. We can prioritize a little bit of fixing and just splash the spears. I'm kind of just thinking about taking Krenko's Command here, though. It's either that or the Baloth for me. I don't want the War Falcon. I don't want the Tricks of the Trade or the Battle Jester. I don't want any of these other things. I'm not really worried. Neither of these cards are super good. I'll take a Baloth and see if we can move around a little bit here. Okay, they're going to make it hard on us, are they? All right, so there's a Prey Upon, which, we don't really have much to go with it, but I think we will if we continue down the green path. There's also a Fungal Sprouting and a Titanic Growth and a Plummet in this pack, and we have a chance to wheel it, although most likely we will get back Volcanic Strength, Swamp, and Downpour. But you never know. Sometimes, a Plummet or a Growth or something will be in there. But they also just gave us a Bloodhunter Bat, which is just a solid 4-drop in our 2 sort of core colors thus far. And I'm just going to end up taking that, I think. I don't want to get too creative here. Griffin Protector is really sweet, but I'm going to take another Bloodhunter Bat here. If we're just you know, red black, so be it. But I don't mind being in black at all. Kind of like it. Okay, so there's only two cards I'm really looking at. It's Turn to Slag and Tormented Soul. Tormented Soul is kind of a little plan for us. Like he'll get in some damage early, and if we can pick up some Exalted in black, then he becomes quite a bit better. Turn to Slag, however, is just more premium removal. Premium's probably a stretch, but solid removal. Removal we're fairly happy to play. I really like Tormented Soul, but I wish we did have a few of those duty-bound deads or just something to kind of lead me along that path. For now, I think I'm just going to have to take the Turn to Slag. Oh man, our colors are so open. Tormented Soul, Essence Drain, Blade Tusk Boar, and Arsonist? Like, that is insane. Normally I would take the Essence Drain because being able, like, again, I mean our removal is insane, and I feel like a Blade Tusk Boar might be more along the lines of what we want. The thing beats down pretty hard, and it's a pretty sweet 4-drop for our deck. Yeah, I guess I'll take it over the Essence Drain this time. Man, Wheel the Cower in Fear. Ship that. That's awesome. I mean, it is double black. It's not like it just goes in every deck, but I think we want cards like this now. Creatures that can just kind of clean up. None of these really matter, but I think I actually want this, which is weird because it's kind of a wildly inefficient card. You really do need to be able to go super long game to make it even considerable, or you need to have a matchup that's going to go long. But, I mean, we've got Cower and Fear, Murder, Double, Spear, Turn to Slag. Like, the game could go long if we wanted it to, that's for sure. Whenever a creature attacks you or a planeswalker you control, I don't like this card much at all. I don't think it just gives your opponent too many choices. I'm going to take the Jester here, but I'm probably not going to play it. I'll take a Volcanic Strength and also probably not play it. I'm going to cut the Jester on the front now. You need to be pretty aggressive to make use of that card, and we might pick up some cards in these next packs that'll do it, but we're not there yet. Disentomb could make the cut, like if we pick up some Nighthawk or something, you know, something that we'd be fine to trade off with, or to just always eats removal and we can buy it back for cheap and recast it. Also, if we pick up like a bomb, like I don't think I want to be disentombing fire elementals. That's like pretty not that exciting, but there's a lot of good things. Ooh, spicy. So the removal train continues as we see a Zathrid Gorgon. So it's a 3/6 with Death Touch, which is already just massive and hard to block and kind of hard to deal with on the ground. But as you can see, it can petrify things. I am for sure taking this. Our deck is looking quite controlling. There is another switcheroo, so we're going to have some stuff swapped out, unfortunately, but that's how it goes. All right. So more good stuff for us. There's a Duty Bound Dead I like. There's a Sign in Blood. There's an Essence Drain. There's even a Goblin Arsonist. All would make the cut. But this guy's stealing the show. One of the most efficient creatures really ever made in Magic. I mean, it costs 3 mana and it's a 2/3, which a lot of decks would play. And then it has this little list here of Flying, Death Touch, Lifelink. Like, it just keeps going and going, and you just get happier and happier. And it's actually just perfect in our deck as well. So, yeah, I'm liking the way this thing's looking so far. We've got I like how in this pack we've managed to pick up a couple of threats with a Nighthawk, and then we've picked up the Blade Tusk Boar, and then this guy's just sweet. Locks. Can really lock down the board. It really can. All right, finally we get a crappy pack for us. Walking Corpse or Arsonist? This is actually a tougher choice than it used to be. I normally would just take the Walking Corpse because it's just more solid and it trades up and stuff, but so does this. And it's certainly more annoying. I'm going to go with the Arsonist here. Let's see if we can mix it up a little bit and take the Arsonist. Nobody ever blocks him anyway. Like, 1/1 unblockable, still trades for 2 toughness guys. Might be better than a 2/2. I don't know. You can do more tricky stuff with it, though, that's for sure. If you have a sack outlet or something, you can make that work for you. Wow, this is a sweet pack. I'm going to be taking this giant scorpion here. It kind of does what we want to do on the ground for when we play against green. And as you can see, green is in force here. Not this one, but Spike Baloth, Yeva's Force Major here. Attended Knight is sweet. Like, I would play that for sure, but we're not in those colors, so I'm going to take the Scorpion. And I'm happy to get it. Scorpion's really mean to your opponent. Oh, man. These packs are just sick. Man, so I saw the public execution, and I was just going to snap it up. I was just going to be like, yep, public execution, take that. Kills anything. You know, anything, like, because right now we can murder anything, and then we have a really good game against small stuff because we got double Syrian Spear, Cowern Fear, and even a Goblin Arsonist. And then a Turnslite can kill something big too, but public execution can just annihilate something. But then I saw a Rummaging Goblin, and man, this deck would love a Rummaging Goblin. Sift through our stuff and kind of get to where we need to be. That's very tempting. Public execution, though, is tough to pass. I think we're more likely to wheel the Goblin, which I think won't be the case for the duration, but I'm going to go ahead and take the execution for now. It's also one of the only things that can kill this. All right, so we have another Cowern Fear or a Servant of Neferox. We've only got 8 creatures, but we've got a lot of cards to go. I think I might just want the Cowern Fear. I mean, this guy's okay. Exalted is nice. But that's really all it is in our deck. Actually, that's not true. We can actually just clear the way a lot of the time. That's definitely more likely to wheel. This will be the second Attended Knight, though. This guy's probably going to have a fairly tough time getting through all the tokens and first strikes. Yeah, I'll take the Cowern Fear. We'll just try to get people with it. Second Fire Elemental would be fine. Again, the idea being we're going to clear everything out and then just beat him down with these huge guys, because this thing's tough to block anyway. And when you have like Murders and Syrian Spears to clear out like double blocks, you can just really get them. That being said, he's not like particularly hard to come by, where like a thing like a Sign of Blood or even a Ravenous Rats can be. There's a Door to Nothingness, but we're not going to be doing that, obviously. I do like Sign and Blood quite a bit. I think I'm going to take it. All right, so here's another big dork. Obviously, if we're going to dump 5 mana in, we'd rather have a 5-4 for 3 double red than a 4-3 for 4 and a black, but we'll take what we can get, I suppose. Other things we could do, we could cut War Falcon or cut Safe Passage. Again, these 5-drop Dirtles just aren't really that hard to find. We can even find 4-drop ones. He might go in the deck, though, so we'll take him. Not much here. Vial Rebirth, just okay. We're going to have plenty of targets for it, but I don't think it's a big deal. I don't think any of these are really. I mean, we could cut a Vastwood Gorger, but we can kill it a couple different ways. Duress is like very mediocre. I'll take the Gorger here. I don't want to see it. Wow, really? So sick. That's a really late Essence Strain, guys. That should not be there. Mind Rot? Yeah, probably won't make the cut. I believe that we're going to have just enough good stuff that we don't have to do things like play Mind Rot, but yeah, you never know. It is certainly better against other, I was going to say decks, but it's almost like better against other cards than some cards than others. Second Disentomb, unlikely to make the cut, but worth a pickup there. Krenko's Command or a Bloodthrone Vampire. Krenko's Command's better if you get that guy that can sack goblins to do damage, but Bloodthrone Vampire's better with a few other things. I'm going to take the Bloodthrone here. And a Gem of becoming removed from my deck. All right. JMD Tome, I think I'm going to cut out of the main here because I do believe that I don't think we're going to start it. I don't think we're going to start Mind Rot either. We can deal with all their stuff pretty easily. We have ridiculous removal here. I'm going to hide these Disentombs for now, but I am planning on running one of them. But so what do we need here? Well, any more premium removal? Sure, bring it on. But we need some threats. You know, we need some guys that can get in there. Another Fire Elemental would be fine, so I don't have to run that stupid Zombie Goliath. Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, this is a nice late game threat as well. All right, so we see an Omniscience. Not going to be resolving that one. This is actually a pretty weak pack for us. There's one red card and it sucks. And there's two black cards, and they're both playable, but one's a little bit better. The best card here is obviously this Pacifism, but we're not doing that. We don't have any incentive to splash or go off the beaten path here. We're very heavy black with some red, and our cards are just really good. I'm going to take this Shade. It's a fine finisher. It helps ramp us up, like, you know, to hit our mana so we can make sure that we resolve these spells, but that is not what I wanted to first pick out of the third pack, I'll tell you that. Man, there's not much here. There's another Searing Spear, and I think I'm just going to take it. But, like, man, Tormented Soul, Duty Bound Dead is something I'd like to have in this deck, but, like, I don't want to take it this high. Not over a Searing Spear, obviously, but it's kind of weird. It's like people are just not really valuing removal here, and we're getting so much of it that I'm starting to just get worried that, like, we're not going to be able to just kill our opponent at some point. Okay, so two choices. Furnace Whelp or a Blade Tusk Boar. Furnace Whelp obviously has a higher top end. It can get in for 4 or 5 or even 6 damage in just one hit, and that's pretty impressive. But I think I'm actually going to go with the Blade Tusk Boar here, because one thing about Furnace Whelp is that if you do run up against blue or white, they can trade it when they want. I mean, Furnace Whelp, is that even true in our deck, though? Look at our deck. They're not going to keep anything on the battlefield. And they both die equally. This one's a little easier to cast, and that does matter because we're very heavy black, so we're going to be a little lighter on red. Furnace Whelp might only be able to get in for 4, maybe 5. Wow, this is actually kind of a tough choice. I mean, either way, we're okay. I'm going to go with the Boar, and I think the tiebreaker for me was the single red mana. These are both doubles, and I mean, I'm okay with that. But I really like the fact that, like, all of our early plays are black, and then the spears will be kind of splashed in there. I mean, we're pushing mono black here. We're obviously not going to do that, but I do like taking the pressure off as much as possible. And a card like that Whelp is very demanding. I mean, it wants double red just to hit the battlefield, and then it wants more and more red as you go. Then again, the game ends pretty quickly if you feed it much red at all. All right, what do we have here? Oh, there's that arms dealer I was talking about. And another Searing Spear? What is going on here? Did I pick up that Kranko's command? No, I did not. All right, so I think I'm actually just going to take another stupid Searing Spear here. I mean, this guy's good. You can sack him to do 5 damage, but if we just have infinite Searing Spears, to 4 damage, that's just got to be better, right? I'm still not going to run that guy. Man, I don't really know. Like, this thing can repeat, and we have a whole pack here to get a bunch more. I'm just going to take the Spear. I mean, geez, if they're just going to keep passing me spears, like, what am I going to do? Not take them? All right, there's a sweet little threat. I'll take that all day. He goes right in the deck. He's in our colors. He's efficient. I'm happy to pick him up. Okay, interesting. So there's a Cleaver Riot, which gives your guys double strike until end of turn, which could be good, but doesn't look like it will be. I mean, it would be a finisher. Like, if we have this guy and this guy, then that's, you know, whatever, like 14 or something, and it can really do some work. But I think I'd rather just stay solid here and take, like, a Dustmantle Prowler. I really think this card's pretty sweet. It has Exalted. It can pump up, you know, some of our other little guys to get in there, and I think that's fine. All right, now there's a Rummaging Goblin. Now there is a Blade Tusk Boar and a Bloodhunter Bat, but I'm slamming this Rummaging Goblin. I really wanted one of those in the deck, so I'm super excited to get one. All right, so our 100th removal spell, or our second Giant Scorpion. We're obviously fine on playables here. I don't think we need this guy. Look at that deck. It's getting insane. I guess we take the Scorpion here. I mean, it's weird to pass an Essence Drain because I think that card's really good, But we do already have one along with infinite other removal, and I think that these guys are just going to do more work for us. I think it's that simple. Nothing I really want here. I don't want to play Trumpet Blast in this deck. I'll just cut it on someone, I guess. Alright, so I think Mark of the Vampire is the pick here. And the reason is that it can gain us life and dig us out of bad situations. And on top of it, against some decks, they really don't have a lot of answers to it. I'm slamming a Chandra's Fury. It can wipe their board. I mean, you know, because we have so much problem wiping away small creatures from the battlefield here with all our cower and fears and murders and everything. But I do think that's the right play. Throw this Mark of the Vampire on Zathrid Gorgon and just get in there. None of these are really good. This card's horrific, but I will take it. Kindle's Fury is okay. I don't think we're going to be doing a ton of combat in that way, but that's fine. All right. Let's build this thing. Bloodhunter Bats are good for getting our life total back too. One of them might have to hit the bin. I don't think I'm going to main deck this Chandra's Fury. Yeah, this thing looks, I mean, so much removal, right? Jeez. Now, let's see what this thing looks like when we get it on paper here. Yeah, unfortunately, we are going to probably run this guy. I'm not too thrilled about it, but it looks like he's going to make the cut. Let's find out, though. I'll put that in for now. Put all these in for now. Yeah, sure. One of those two. Okay. And then this. I'm going to leave the Chandra's Fury in the board for now. Battle Jester, probably 2. Yeah, that's right. 1,000,000 of those. Muck Waiter's easy. And then I don't think we want the Tome. All right. So that's 30. So we need to make 7 cuts. Now we've got 16 creatures, and I think we can go down to about 13 and be pretty comfortable. But we're still going to need to cut some more stuff. So I think we cut the Disentomb to start with. We've got enough creatures. I don't think that we're like getting back the Nighthawk Suite, but there's not a whole lot of other stuff. We can cut this Mind Rot. I don't think we need the Sign in Blood. I just don't think we're going to need it. Like, our cards are just very good, and yeah, getting more of them sweet, but I think if we just like stick to it, we're going to be fine here. I'm going to cut the Bloodthrone Vampire because I don't think he's very high impact here. Like, we didn't get any threatens, you know, we're not stealing their guys and doing anything like that. That's on the chopping block. How good is this Prowler with just the random Exalted? Probably pretty good. Like, any Exalted in this deck is going to be pretty sweet. I feel like cutting this and this. Puts us at 24, so still need a few more cuts. I can cut one more creature. I think I cut one Cower in Fear. It's really, really good versus some decks, and it's pretty good versus most decks. But I don't know that having both of them, they're decks that it's not good against. You just don't want both of them. So I think, you know, given our removal situation, we're pretty good. And I think this looks like a deck. Arsonist could come back in if we want it to. What would I take out? Like, these Scorpions get better with this Dusk Mantle Prowler, for example, and the Shade is one of our main win cons. We have a few win cons, but all right, let's do this one. I kind of like it because we have some flexibility here about how we want to do this. You know, we can bring in other stuff. The Arsonist can come in. The other Cower in Fear easily comes in. We've got Chandra's Fury here in the board. That can come in anytime we want. If we face red, we could consider bringing in the Strength, but I don't really like it that much. But I like it that we have a lot of options. It wants to do 9/8. That's probably correct. This could be a 10/7, but I wouldn't mind hitting these Fire Elementals and turn to Slags on the right turn. And I guess Cower in Fear. Maybe this actually is just a 10/7. I think that's a 10/7 deck. Because hitting Cower Fear on the right turn is really important. Murder is pretty important. Nighthawk is important. We do have this Muck Waiter, though. So what I'm thinking is normally I'll look at the curve, right? And I'll be like, what do we need early? Like in this area here, right? That would be this Friday, and we're recording it right now. But these Searing Spears, these don't count. You know, these get played somewhere like right here, right? And so we've got these Searing Spears, you know, that all get like, we'll put it like maybe like this. So this is what our curve actually looks like. Probably put this here. You know, this goes in that same area, but these are things that we want early, and you can see it's very black heavy. Maybe it isn't 9-8. Muck Waiter is pretty important to get early. We'll try this one out. And we'll ship this. So let's see how this thing does. I have pretty high hopes. I think we should be able to do well. We've got removal for almost anything that they could present, and it's just going to be a matter of us overcoming their removal to kind of grind them out. That's, you know, we can bring in Disentombs if we see a whole lot of that. Same with Sight and Blood if they're not putting any pressure on us. Like I said, this deck actually has quite a few directions it can go. I just think this is where I want to start. All right, we'll see you guys in the first round.